Hello everyone, let's discuss today's The Hindu Science page. The first article is Study Reveals the Oldest Evidence of Photosynthesis. In this article, the writer says that a paper published in Nature has identified the oldest evidence of photosynthetic structures found within a collection of 1.75 billion-year-old microfossils. The discovery sheds light on the evolution of oxygenic photosynthesis, which converts water and carbon dioxide into glucose and oxygen. Cyanobacteria, which played an important role in early life evolution, were active during the Great Oxidation Event around 2.4 billion years ago. Catherine Desmoulins from the University of Liège, Belgium, and others present direct evidence of fossilized photosynthesis structures from Navifusa magensis. The microstructures are thylakoids, membrane-bound structures found inside chloroplasts of plants and some modern cyanobacteria. The discovery suggests that photosynthesis may have evolved before 1.75 billion years ago. However, it does not solve the mystery of whether photosynthesis evolved before or after the Great Oxidation Event. Similar ultrastructural analyses of older microfossils could help answer this question and determine whether the evolution of thylakoids contributed to the rise in oxygen levels at the time of the Great Oxidation Event. The authors predict that similar ultrastructural analyses of well-preserved microfossils might expand the geographical record of oxygenic photosynthesizers and early weakly oxygenated ecosystems in which complex cells developed. The next article is Should India Study Wastewater to Track Malaria-Dengue? In this article, the writer says that wastewater surveillance is a valuable tool for monitoring the presence of specific pathogens before they can be detected through laboratory testing. It has been used for decades for tracking the poliovirus in almost every country, and waterborne viruses can be best studied through testing sewage samples. Wastewater surveillance provides accurate information about the presence of poliovirus excreted by humans and helps provide information on new variants and virus load, which serves as a proxy for the extent of virus spread in the community. The biggest advantage of wastewater surveillance is that it is cost-effective and can independently confirm the presence of pathogens before laboratory testing throws up a warning signal. For example, the Tata Institute for Genetics and Society, TIGS, in Bangalore, was able to detect a silent wave of the XBB, 1.16 Omicron virus in the city last year. With the usefulness of wastewater surveillance during the pandemic established, researchers in developed countries have used it for tracking other diseases such as monkeypox, influenza, and cholera. In the US and Europe, researchers suggest that the wastewater surveillance be expanded to track dengue, malaria, Zika, and typhoid. In India, these are endemic diseases, so questions that can be addressed by environmental surveillance need careful consideration since clinical cases are likely to be tested for known causes. In India, there have been recent outbreaks of malaria and dengue in the US and Portugal, but the US and European countries rarely report malaria and dengue. Developed countries also have excellent sewage networks, making it easy to track these pathogens. Transmission is usually seasonal, if at all. In a tropical country like India, malaria and dengue are endemic, and pathogen transmission takes place almost throughout the year. In the case of dengue, virus shedding by humans is low, making it difficult to detect dengue viral RNA in wastewater at levels similar to SARS-CoV-2 RNA. In conclusion, wastewater surveillance is an effective tool for monitoring the presence of pathogens before they can be detected through laboratory testing. However, it is crucial to consider the geographical context, pathogen biology, and availability of sewage networks when using this method for vector-borne pathogens. The next article is from the pioneer paper that is Decarbonization Frontiers. In this article, the writer says that the G20 summit focused on addressing climate change, particularly through the endorsement of climate finance, technology, and equitable energy transitions for developing nations. India's Life movement promotes eco-friendly practices and underscored climate action as an opportunity for growth. The issue of carbon credits is significant in ongoing discussions at COP28 as they play a crucial role in international efforts to mitigate climate change. Carbon credits are equivalent to 1 ton of carbon dioxide, CO2, or its equivalent and become tradable once issued by a government or other recognized body. The Conference of the Parties, COP, established as the supreme decision-making body of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, convenes annually to discuss strategies for combating climate change. The concept of carbon commodification gained prominence with the Kyoto Protocol in 1997 and progressed with the Paris Agreement in 2015. However, the mechanisms face significant constraints, such as disagreement between developed and developing nations, over-allocation of emission allowances, and people's perceptions about the credibility of carbon projects. Efforts were made to address these issues with the Paris Agreement in 2015, introducing global initiatives such as nationally determined contributions and provisions for financial support to developing countries. COP28 is currently in progress in the UAE, where discussions are underway to advance various work streams. The major agenda is to implement the Paris Agreement, identify global solutions for limiting global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees, inform countries' preparations for revised and more ambitious nationally determined contributions, NDC, due by 2025, accelerate the green transition, and achieve the delivery of the Paris Agreement goals. The carbon credits market, crucial for mitigating climate change, is plagued by opacity due to its intricate structure. The lack of a centralized regulatory structure creates gaps in transparency, leading to a situation reminiscent of 1 step forward, 2 steps backward. One critical issue lies in the absence of a requirement for disclosing the price paid for carbon credits, which allows organizations to potentially misrepresent their commitment to offsetting emissions. Some may intentionally miscalculate their carbon footprint or purchase cheaper credits that might not withstand standardized scrutiny, leading to instances of greenwashing. A significant hurdle in today's carbon credit markets is the lack of standardized follow-up for projects that apply for carbon credits. Many projects, unable to meet their carbon mitigation commitments, sell their credits to third parties, falling short of achieving net zero emissions. This raises questions about the effectiveness of carbon credit initiatives and the need for more stringent oversight. Efforts have been made to enhance transparency in carbon credit prices by compiling trading data from market players and accredited registries like the Gold Standard, Climate Action Reserve, Verified Carbon Standard, and the American Carbon Registry. However, challenges persist, leaving room for potential fraud or dubious activity in emissions trading markets. India has advanced its decarbonization strategy by introducing 2 pivotal regulations aimed at tackling opacity: the Carbon Credit Trading Scheme and the Green Credit Program Implementation Rules. Between 2010 and 2022, India issued 35.94 million carbon credits and actively participated in trading these credits on global international markets. These regulations provide a framework for transparent transactions and adherence to international standards. However, mere introduction of such regulations is not sufficient. The Green Credit Program encompasses diverse sectors, including tree plantation, water conservation, sustainable agriculture, waste management, air pollution reduction, mangrove conservation, eco-friendly initiatives, and sustainable building and infrastructure. It seeks to create a market-based mechanism offering green credits as incentives to individuals, cooperatives, urban and rural local bodies, private sectors, industries, and organizations for environmentally positive actions.